fellow beings, my name is Amanda, and today we're going to be talking about POTS, or Postural Orthostatic Tachycardia syndrome. So that right there is a mouthful, so what on earth does it even mean? So let's start with the first word, postural. That means the position of your body, whether you're laying down, whether or not you're sitting up, whether or not you're standing up. So postural is just the position of your body. Orthostatic means to stand up. You are standing up in order to walk, in order to run, or you're just standing. Tachycardia means an increased heart rate, so your heart starts beating really fast. And syndrome just means a lot of symptoms. So that is Postural Orthostatic Tachycardia syndrome. Now you know why we call it POTS, because that is a lot to say a lot of the time. Just so everybody knows, I really do not feel well, and I was not going to do this today. My brain is so shot. Okay. And the AC is on right now, which you can hear because our AC is freakishly loud. But I'm like really sweating right now. This is ridiculous. Which is a symptoms of POTS, in case you guys are wondering. All right. Johns Hopkins University says that POTS is a form of dysautonomia, a disorder of the autonomic nervous system. This branch of the nervous system regulates functions we don't consciously control, such as heart rate, blood pressure, sweating, and body temperature. The key characteristics of POTS are the specific symptoms and the exaggerated increase in heart rate when standing. So getting blood back up to the brain and to the heart is the most important thing. If those two things are not working, you're dead. So blood going back up to the heart and the brain is very important. So when a healthy human being stands up, gravity pulls that blood down to their feet. That is what gravity does best. It pulls things down to the ground. So that blood is being pulled into the feet. Well, the brain says, well, that's not good. I need blood up here, not down there. So it sends hormones to the blood vessels saying, all right, guys, we gotta tighten up because we gotta get that blood back up to the brain and back up to the heart. So that is what happens. So the heart rate increases just slightly enough to get that blood back up to the brain, and those blood vessels constrict. When the brain and the heart get enough blood, then the brain says, all right, we can chill out, we can calm down, and it releases those hormones or takes those hormones back, and everything goes back to normal. So the heart rate goes back down, blood vessels open back up, and everything goes back to normal. That is for a healthy human being, and that is how it is supposed to work. In people with POTS, this does not happen. So a person with POTS stands up, the blood pools into the feet because that's what gravity does best. So the brain says, all right, blood vessels, we need to tighten up and get that blood back up to the brain and back up to the heart. So I'm gonna send out these hormones. But just like a guy who spends way too much time at the bar, he doesn't really know what's going on and he's stumbling around. And the hormones are just screaming into the din of what the body is doing. And the blood vessels are just like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. This is what I imagine goes on in my head. I am very much aware that this is not Osmosis Jones going on. But, you know, I like to think of it that way. Anyway, so the heart, being the really good organ that it is, says, all right, the blood vessels are not tightening up, the hormones aren't working, let's go down our checklist of things that we need to do. Duh! I need to increase the heart rate, so your heart starts pumping faster. Great! But those blood vessels are not tightening up. So the heart says, okay, we'll go faster. So your heart starts beating faster and it starts beating harder. And you're like, holy moly, am I having a heart attack? Oh my gosh. So then the person is starting to feel lightheaded. They're starting to get brain fog. they're starting to get dizzy and they start feeling really tired. If the person continues to stand, they can start to shake, they can start to have chest pains, and then eventually they could pass out. That is what life is like with POTS. Sounds great, right? Not really. Johns Hopkins says, POTS symptoms vary from person to person and may include severe and/or long-lasting fatigue, lightheadedness with prolonged sitting or standing that can lead to fainting, brain fog or trouble focusing, remembering, or paying attention, forceful heartbeats or heart palpitations, a feeling of the heart pounding or skipping a beat, nausea and vomiting, headaches, excessive sweating, shakiness, intolerance of exercise or a prolonged worsening of general symptoms after increased activity, a pale face and purple discoloration of the hands and feet if the limbs are lower than the level of the heart. I myself get most of these symptoms. Actually, I get all of these symptoms. My finger and toenails like to turn purple, and I like to call it my purple nail polish, which is why I cover them up, especially my toes, because I really love sandals. I hate shoes with a passion. If I could go barefoot and not like scrape up the bottom side of my foot, I would, but I can't. So I wear a lot of sandals. But then I gross people out because my toenails and my toes are always purple. So I paint them during the summer, and my nails are painted to cover up how purple. I have a lot of people say, "Are you okay?" And they point to my nails. No, I'm not. But thanks for asking. I'll make sure to cover that up so we can stop people from asking all the time. Yeah, all of these symptoms are absolutely awful, and this is the reason why I do not stand in lines. I have felt like passing out on multiple occasions. I have almost vomited while standing in line, and I have ended up squatting in the middle of aisles with my head leaning up against shelves because I am so close to passing out. And I have known people that just flat out lay on the floor in stores. Now that may sound gross, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and I have almost gotten to that point, which is why I don't really go to the store anymore. And also why I have a wheelchair to keep me from passing out in stores. I have gotten lightheaded while still in my wheelchair, but at least I'm not on the floor. Yeah, no one wants to be on the floor. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So, if the person's about to pass out and it would be better for them to just lay down on the floor before passing out or smacking into the floor because they did pass out, I'm all for just laying down. Just lay down. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So things that can make POTS worse is standing up for long periods of time, just like I just said. Not being hydrated enough, which is why I also drink salt water to help hydrate myself. There's more stuff in the packets than just salt and potassium, but I say that the drink is salt water because it tastes salty. It's not the tastiest drink on the planet, but I drink it to make sure that I stay hydrated. Heat is another really big trigger, so I cannot deal with high temperatures. I am a true ginger, so just thinking about the sun makes me burn. But even without the sun, if it's just hot and I'm in the shade, dizziness, sweating, almost passing out, not being able to think straight, all of those things happen when I am overheated. So being overheated is a big deal for me. I also can't deal with the cold, but that has to do with other parts of my illness. So I need a temperate climate, and I do not live in a temperate climate. I live in a place that is freakishly hot and freakishly cold, and like 2 weeks of decent weather. So, yeah. Yep. Taking hot showers or baths can also make symptoms worse. Huffing and puffing and barely making it to my bed after a shower is awful, and me trying to get the ringing out of my ears and the swirling head and my heartbeat to just calm down after a shower. It's not the greatest feeling, I will tell you that. So, but I like to feel clean. It's a good feeling when you feel like crap altogether. Just take a shower and then you feel like crap after your shower. I don't feel like there's a winning scenario here. Yeah. Dysautonomia International estimates that POTS affects between 1 and 3 million people in the US. The majority of them are women, although men may also develop POTS. POTS may begin after an apparent or confirmed viral illness, but it can also appear following surgery or other health events. POTS can run in families, but no single gene associated with the majority of cases of POTS has been identified. So with a lot of chronic illnesses, the majority of them are women. Yay! So the number one way to diagnose POTS is to have a tilt table test. I will tell you that it is an awful test, and I have done it twice, and I never want to do it again. Because the verge of passing out is strong in that test. So your heart rate and your blood pressure are taken every few minutes in different positions. So while laying down, while sitting up, while standing up. Now, if you're actually on a tilt table, then you're strapped to a table and the table is doing all the movements for you. If you don't have a tilt table at the clinic that you are being seen at, then you are laying down, then they do it while you're sitting up, and then they have you stand up and lean up against a wall and do the same thing that a tilt table test would do. So what they're looking for is an abnormal heart rate while standing, and they're looking for overall worsening of symptoms while in an upright position. So those are the things that they are looking for. There are other tests that can be done to figure out if you have POTS, but the tilt table test is the number one test to figure out whether or not you have it. Here's the thing though, in POTS, it can develop and show in so many different ways that treatment for it has to be as unique as the individual. So the treatment that I have for me is not going to be the same as the person next door that has it. I honestly don't know if the person next door has it. They might. There's a lot of people with POTS. So it's a possibility, you never know. So when it comes to treatment, you have to make sure that the treatments are individualized for those people. But you also have to realize that there is no cure for POTS, but there are ways to manage the symptoms of POTS, such as medications, such as diet, and also compression clothing. So these are my compression tights. I despise these things. So these are my tightest ones that go over my foot, but the toes stick out. Demon. These ones are less tight, and I got them so that they would be cute so I could wear them under skirts. They're demons too. I hate compression clothing with a passion. I cannot stand compression clothing, but it may be perfect for you if you have POTS. Please remember that people with POTS can look like there is absolutely nothing wrong with them. They can look just like you or me, and you will have no idea. They will look completely normal, and then the next minute they will be sprawled out on the grocery store floor, and you'll be wondering what's wrong with them. Please have compassion and sympathy for them, because you honestly have no idea what they're going through. So just remember that just because someone looks completely healthy, it doesn't mean that they are. Remember, everyone is going through something, and you don't know what that is. If you enjoy learning about life with chronic illness, or just wanting to learn more about the different chronic illnesses that are out there, or you just like looking at a nerd every week, then go ahead and click that subscribe button, and don't forget to click the like button as well, as that tells the algorithm that this video needs to be put out in front of more people. Remember to be kind. Kindness is free, so give it out to everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I need to Glenalene. Glenalene. Don't do that, Davis. Okay. Whew. Okay. Really fancy if people are giving you a hard time about your condition. My light just dimmed on me. Thank you, light, for dimming on me. Nope, it don't want to be bright no more. So we're gonna stop this and plug it in. Because dumbness. It's supposed to be a light that, you know, you plug in and it charges up and then you can use it for a long period of time. It's a craft light because I don't have the money to get one of those special lights. It's a craft light that I use for sewing. Does it hold a charge? No. And I got it for Christmas. So it's not that old. Thank you. Excuse me. All right, so my light is back. Thank you for being on. Okay, we gotta get the words come out of here. They form in here, they come out here. It needs to be in one swoop motion, not happening. All right. Okay. What are the words of that? Shelves. Goodness gracious. My alarm just went off to take my pills. Thank you so much for ruining my take. Today, guys, today. Dysautonomia International estimates that POTS affects 1 in 3. I need to actually read all of the words that are in the paragraph and not skip them.